Welcome to The Bottom Line Up Front, the podcast that cuts through the noise to deliver distilled insights from today's most important technical webinars, presentations, and demonstrations. Designed for federal and military IT leaders, each episode breaks down complex technologies into mission-ready takeaways so you get the key points fast. Whether it's cybersecurity, cloud architecture, or emerging defense technologies, we highlight what matters most and how trusted integrators like ATP Gov can help implement and operationalize these solutions across your agency or command. No fluff, no filler, just the bottom line up front. Today on The Bluff, we're going to translate what was shown on the keyboards into what matters for mission outcomes, taking a hands-on look at SUSE Rancher Prime for Kubernetes management and Portworx from Pure Storage for stateful data. So let's talk about what Rancher Prime actually delivers.
So why SUSE Rancher Prime in the first place? What SUSE Rancher Prime does is it pulls together all of the components to give you everything you need to deploy, run, and manage your Kubernetes clusters and the containerized workloads that run on top of them.
One console for data center to edge Kubernetes. Rancher centrally manages all downstream clusters, whether on-prem, in AWS, Azure, or GCP at the edge, or imported from any CNCF certified distribution. The goal, common skills and one interface, regardless of where the clusters live. Rancher also includes curated application charts with vulnerability reduction in base images, plus Prometheus and Grafana for cluster health and performance.
As far as you're concerned, you're doing it through the Rancher interface. It's a common set of skills that are needed for all of the different features we talk about today.
From the console, you can provision clusters, take snapshots, upgrade Kubernetes versions node by node with draining and coordinating handled automatically, and enforce roles-based access control via unified identity providers.
Click on the kebab menu on the right side of cluster 1, and you can click on take a snapshot or restore a snapshot or rotate certificates or edit config, and we'll look at that one in just a second. You can also do a kubectl shell into that particular cluster. So you don't have to do a lot of external, let me go to a terminal prompt somewhere and do it. I can do it right from within this interface.
During the lab, we were able to see engineers logging into Rancher, deploying monitoring through Prometheus and Grafana, performing a snapshot, executing a cluster upgrade with automated node draining, as well as configuring roles-based access control. The scenario was giving new HR users namespace scopes rights and deploying a simple Nginx workload.
So we're going to go through a scenario where we've hired a brand new person. And this brand new person is John Smith. Now, John is in the HR department, and John is tasked with deploying some applications for HR. But the HR department isn't big enough to warrant having its own cluster. So one of the beautiful things about Kubernetes and its design, they came up with this idea of namespaces to be a way to logically separate and run Kubernetes resources. So when I say Kubernetes resources, they're applications and that like.
So the bottom line of the demonstration was Rancher reduces operational variance across environments and makes Kubernetes governance and upgrades routine and not heroic. That's critical for ATO sustainment and continuous compliance. So let's talk about how Portworx from Pure Storage makes Kubernetes stateful and survivable.
We've got some business continuity and disaster recovery challenges, right? So a lot of the solutions for the Kubernetes environment are DIY, right? Wire it up yourself. With the Portworx solution, right? All of that business continuity, disaster recovery, high availability, it's all built into the product. It's all wired in together. So it gives you solid foundation for that recovery.
Portworx runs on worker nodes, consumes block devices like SAN, Cloud Disk, and NVMe to create software-defined storage clusters. Volumes can be replicated across nodes with encryption, snapshots, throttling, and Kubernetes-aware scheduling. When a node fails, Stork notifies the Kubernetes scheduler to reschedule pods where volume replicas already exist. That means fast pod recovery with the same data. The demo showed us a MongoDB app surviving a simulated node reboot with orders completely intact.
This is a simulated node failure. We're going to watch what happens to our Mongo pod. You can see that it is running on Rancher 3. It's been up for about 7 minutes, and it is still in a running state. that node is shutting down. It is orderly because we shut it down, but it's still going to do the same thing. That node is going to go down. We are going to see that this happens. So we have a component called Stork, which is our storage orchestrator runtime for Kubernetes. And Stork monitors the status of all of our Portworx nodes in the cluster. And so when it sees a node goes down, it will tell the Kubernetes scheduler, hey, we need to reschedule pods that were consuming Portworx volumes that were on that node. We need to get them rescheduled. And so you can see that's happened.
Additionally, rules watch over PVC usage and resize volumes online. This prevents midnight outages from log growth while alerting operations to investigate. No paging on-call analysts unless absolutely necessary. Point-in-time volume snapshots create quick restore points, and group snapshots create multi-volume consistency. Think about the interoperation of technologies like Cassandra, Kafka, and Mongo clusters. Snapshots can also be offloaded to S3-compatible object stores or public clouds, supporting retention of off-cluster recovery. Disaster recovery options include asynchronous and synchronous with stretched clusters. So the bottom line for Portworx is the stateful data backbone for mission apps running on Kubernetes. It provides resilience, automation, and compliance-friendly operations that traditional SANs can't deliver inside of Kubernetes. So why does this matter in federal and DoD terms? Rancher's unified management and Portworx replication keeps mission apps running as nodes or links dropped. This is ideal for austere, tactical, or ship and airborne scenarios. Routine upgrades, snapshots, and observability reduce drift and help maintain RMF controls and continuous monitoring. The centralized roles-based access control and integration with identity providers supports least privilege and auditability across clusters. Using curated charts and hardened images supports vulnerability management strategies, and Autopilot eliminates over-provisioning yet protects against surprise growth, offering O&M savings without sacrificing availability. So if you want a mission-ready Kubernetes platform with stateful resilience and automation, here are some items to consider before building your implementation with SUSE Rancher and Portworx. Tailor your data center to edge designs and align them to zero trust, STIG-friendly baselines, as well as Kubernetes hardening and logging and telemetry patterns. Create rapid labs by mirroring your enclaves, whether on-prem, GovCloud regions, or classified segments, with repeatable Terraform and Helm pipelines. Develop procedures and playbooks for Kubernetes upgrades, snapshot and restore, disaster recovery failover, and autopilot rules. Always factor in compliance and ATO support by documenting artifacts, things like diagrams, control narratives, and parameter sets to speed RMF packages, plus alerting via Prometheus and Alert Manager for SOC workflows, all while mapping to relevant controls, for example, access control, configuration management, and contingency planning. Make sure you coordinate with your vendor licensing and support and multi-vendor integration. This is where ATP Gov can help you streamline the process through common federal procurement paths. And finally, consider your hands-on enablement for platform teams and app teams, including cluster ops, storage ops, roles-based access control governance, and disaster recovery drills, along with developing your handoff plans to other parts of your SOC. So what is the bottom line up front? Rancher Prime is a centralized multi-cluster Kubernetes management across your on-prem, your cloud, and your edge. It comes built in with Prometheus and Grafana for observability with a curated app catalog. It includes snapshots, automated upgrades, roles-based access control, and app deployment. Portworx adds high availability storage, Stork-driven failover, autopilot resizing, snapshots, group snapshots, cloud snaps, and disaster recovery. What's the value to federal? Zero trust alignment, RMF sustainment, and O&M savings. If you're adopting Kubernetes for mission applications, SUSE Rancher Prime gives you unified, secure, data center to edge cluster management, while Portworx adds the stateful, resilient storage layer. Together, they simplify operations and keep critical workloads available across austere, disconnected, or multi-cloud environments. So if you want a mission-ready Kubernetes platform with stateful resilience, our team at ATP Gov can help you integrate and harden this stack from pilot to production. Be sure to reach out to ATP Gov today at www.atpgov.com or email info@atpgov.com or check us out on social media on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to The Bottom Line up front wherever you get your podcasts, and stay tuned for more distilled insights from the front lines of tech and national security. So until next time, stay secure, stay mission ready.